Okay, so 我们现在就开始 introduce 我们的 probability. Now with the probability, 我们通常就会讲着 okay, when something occur out of the total, okay, what is the percentage 或者是 what is the decimal, 这是我们会通常讲的。But there are a few things we have to go through. 也就是讲这可能讲how do we know if it's fair, 也就是 unbiased, okay, 这个是等后面的时候我们才会说到的。尤其是像赌场这样子的地方啊 gambling 啊，如果你去别人的场地还是怎样的，很多都是 unfair 的，也就是 biased 的，不然的话赌场不可能会赚钱的。Okay, so another thing is 就是我们的 exhaustive event. Exhaustive event 也就是讲着它是 contain 所有的 possible outcome. Okay, so like 好像讲我们的 complement A 它的 sum of probability 也是等于1的。Okay, so it's always an exhaustive event if that's the case. 然后还有两个词我们要懂的是 trial and expectation. 所以 trial 就是讲这 the repeat of the event 或者 experiment. Okay, 然后我们算它的 relative, 我们就可以算出来它的 relative frequency. 还有另外一个就是 expectation, 就是我们 what should we expect? Okay, 就可能讲 okay, 我们大概预测这个 flip of coin 可能有 20% 是 heads 还是怎样的。This is an expectation. Okay, it can be true, it can be false, but it is an expectation, 就是我们去 guess 的。So few recap, 我们就讲这 the probability is equals to the number of success over the total number of outcome. 而在 GCSE 里面呢，我们的 relative frequency 也就是讲这 number of times of an outcome 除以我们的 number of trial. Okay, 这个是 relative frequency. You'll see more in the future of the differences. Okay? So yeah. Now 我们要正式讲 A level 讲这个东西，就是一个东西叫做 mutually exclusive。mutually exclusive, 我们看到这个 mutual 这个词的时候哦，你在 Facebook 如果你是放英文版本的啦 ，OK， 你会看到的就讲哦 you have how many mutual friends, OK， 所以也就讲这 between your friend and you, there is a person that connects you and your friend, OK， 这个叫做 mutual, but exclusive 哦，所以也就讲这没有关系的意思。Which is why I don't really like the term here. 因为他们讲 mutually 之后哦 mutual 我们讲 mutual event 就可以了咯。No, they just put mutually exclusive. Okay, so yeah, it is no connection for mutually exclusive. 还有 non-mutually exclusive 就讲是他们是有 connection 的。Okay, what do I mean by connection? So for example, 我可以讲 mutually exclusive is when I cannot get both head and tail at the same time. 或者是我可以讲 okay, you cannot land on more than one time. Okay, 或者是讲a number is either odd or even. 或者我们也可以讲的一个东西就是它们是没有关系的。So in terms of Venn diagram, there is no connection. Okay, in terms of Venn diagram, we can see that there's no connection. Okay, and another thing is 我们也可以讲的就是how do I say? So for example, 如果我丢一个 dice 还有我丢一个 coin 有关系没有？会影响到它没有？ No. Okay, so in this case, yeah, we can say that this is also mutually exclusive. But in terms of non-mutually, 也可以就是讲是它是会影响到它，或者是他们 there is something in common. Okay, so in terms of formula, we can 因为我们已经知道了它的 Venn diagram 是长这个样子。Okay, so 我们就可以讲咯，我们 for the probability of A and probability of B is equals to our union of A and B. Okay, 如果你不知道的话，忘记的话 union 是 or 的意思。And 如果它是 mutually exclusive 的情况下，它是 Pn 也就是我们的 intersecting B is always equals to 0. So is probability of A times probability of B. 所以只要它的这一个条件是符合的话 it is mutually exclusive. Just keep in mind of that. So, and of course, 如果它是 expand 更多的 set notation 的话 it's also doing it. It's just with additional sets. Okay, so let's have a look. The probability of rain on any particular day in a mountain village is 0.2. How many days is rain not expected in a year of 365 days? One of the common thing 在很多学生里面呢，就是忘记 what is the total of the probability? 我们的 total of the probability is all of the events combining to adding up together. Okay, so in this case, 我们有什么样的 event? 我们有的是 probability of it raining and probability that it's not raining. So it is raining and it is not raining. 我们知道它 raining 的情况是 0.2. So what about not raining? Of course, 你不需要写到像我这样子的 sentence 啦。Okay, you can just literally write P event not 这样子 complement 也可以。Okay, 如果你要的话，也可以讲 P rain complement equals to 1 minus 0.2. Okay, so of it not raining will be 0.8. Now, how many days does it not expect not raining? 我们只是拿我们的 probability， 因为它每一天都是这一个 probability 嘛。你1号也是这一个 probability， 2号也是这个 probability。我们的 expectation， 也就是讲这365天里面，我们有 0.8， 每一天都是这个样子。So that means 我们有292天，它是 not raining 的。So this is what we call a relative frequency. Okay, 也就是讲这它的 result， 就是它的那个according to regarding of the days 还是 regarding of the event 啦。Okay, relative frequency. So the next one, shading the set of stuff. So in this case, 如果你是有上过我 GCSE 课的话，其实这一课应该是比较 common 了的了。So we've got shading of all A's. 我自己 personally 我会画 direction shading with direction. Just remembering of that. 如果你是有上过我的课的话。So after that, 如果它是 A complement, 我们只是 shade anything that's outside of A. Here comes the tricky part. 我会用 different color, but if you are using the same color, then I will suggest you to do different shading, a different side of shading. So in this case, 我们的就像它这一个 mention 一样啦，看到吗？就是 different sides, and we will see about that. 那我们就讲 OK A union B, 所以我们就是 shading all of the A and B. 可是如果是 A and B, 不是 A or B, 所以这里的情况，我们先解决 what is A and what is B. For the intersection, we have to look for these two shading together. So hence, 这一个就是我们的 intersection. Let's try again. Not A. Okay, ignore this one. 我不会跟着这一个。Not A. 我 not A 的话，我可以是这里。然后 B 本身。So you can see that the intersection should be only this area. Oh, sorry. B 应该是包括这里。My mistake. Okay, but we're still looking for intersection, 所以就是 that particular area. So that's my approach. Let's try it again. Okay, for the shading, 这里 for A, for not A, this should be straightforward. For this one, A union B, 然后 A intersect B. For this case would be here. Not A intersect B, 这个其实我们看过了的。Okay, you can refer up there. But what about if it's opposite side? Okay, 这个是我们没有做过的。For this one, let's shade A. OK， 我已经解决 A 了。What about not B? Not B 的话，就算我用 different color，我也会用 different direction. That's how I know I'm doing different events. So in this case, 我们是这一个 area for intersection. There we go. Okay, so using the Venn diagram to calculate the probability. This is what makes A-level different. 你会用到 Venn diagram 的 calculation 去做 probability. Okay, so let's have a look. Using the Venn diagram to calculate the probability of one digit from 1 to 9, and there are 3 possible events. So A is multiple of 3, B is 8, factor of 8 selected, C is a prime number selected. So 我们这里有一个 complete set， 这个是也不是讲 complete set， but we have a set of number. OK， 我们只是会用到这一个 set of number to characterize it. 所以我们的 A 的 characterization is 3, 6 and 9. 通常我做这种问题，我都会写我的这个 characterization 是什么。It's helping me. B， 我们的是 1, 2, 4 and 8. C, that would be 2, 3, 5 and 7. Remember, prime number is not inclusive of 1. So what is the probability of A in this case? Anyway, we have to show that the mutually exclusive for event A, B, C is AB and find what is A union B. So we have to find the probability of it. Okay, so how can we show it? 它这里的 example 是讲着用 Venn diagram, but I do not like it that way. 因为 I don't think A-level 是 accepting 这一个 unless they requested for it. So 我会用我们的 approach. So remember, 它是要 compare AB, AC, 然后 BC 这个样子 for this question. So if that's the case, we have to do probability of A, we have to calculate it, that's 3 over 9. Okay, 我不会 simplify 这一个 and you'll see why later. Probability of B is equals to 4 over 9. Probability of C is equals to 4 over 9. So how do I know if my sets are mutually exclusive? Okay, so we have to do probability of A times probability of B. You can see that it is, wait, I need to remember the rule. So if it's mutually exclusive, then probability of A times probability of B is equal to 0. Okay, 这个就是他们的 n 啦。So if that's the case, 这个问题有点怪怪的。But yes, it should be. Given that it's not equals to 0, 也就是我们的3 over 9 times 4 over 9, 12 over 81. So that is not equals to 0, and that is mutually exclusive. That is weird. Why is it? Then why is it showing here? Anyways, let's try again. 如果我们的 probability of A times probability of C that will equal to 12 not OK 我刚刚 double confirm 了一下就是这一个 method of doing is not possible 我忘记了这一个 possible chance so when is it so when is this applicable that is equals to 0 OK 如果它是讲着这一段啦 OK when is it applicable is when one of the event is 0 OK but it's not necessary 就是讲这讲你 PA times PB 如果不是等于0的话 it's not necessarily mean that it is mutually exclusive OK 所以我们不能只是用这一个的方式来去判断 but in fact 我们一定要用到的是这一个 OK to 判断它是不是一个 mutually exclusive so in short 如果你要用这一个 OK 它只能是在其中一个 event 真的是等于0的时候而它的结果真的是等于0我们才可以讲它是 mutually exclusive so only applicable if P 这个讲呢 PA times PB 如果真的是等于0 yes it is mutually exclusive 因为其中一个 event 是等于0 OK but 如果 PA times PB 不等于0 does not mean not mutually exclusive OK 这个是很重要的就是讲着我们的这个 application to use this part 是讲呢就是没有的 OK so let's come back 所以很像我们刚刚讲的如果你试下去做这里的 PA and PC 他们虽然讲 there is a value but it does not necessarily mean that it is mutually exclusive So how do I do it? 我们要正式来做的话就是要确保 PA is equals to PA times PB So in this case A 和 B 它们的 common 是什么它们的 intersecting 是什么 It's nothing Okay and at the same time Okay at the same time 我们的Oh sorry my mistake 我不需要用到这一个太乱了我不需要用到这一个我只是需要看到这一个部分就可以了 OK 它是等于0的话就可以了 OK the equation itself let me rewrite it 我只是需要写 PA and B 等于0 or PA times PB 等于0就可以了 OK but it's always best to use this one Okay it's always best to use this one Now So here 我们的 PA and intersecting B is equals to 0因为 there are no common things So therefore mutually exclusive 所以简单来讲它如果是有 common 的话它就是 non-mutually exclusive So for example PA and C 他们的 common 是谁他们的 common 是3对不对 So if that's the case 我们就讲这 out of 这一个9个里面我们有一个是我们的 probability is not equals to 0 So therefore mutually exclusive Again PBC intersecting 有 intersect 吗So 也就是讲着我们的那个 intersecting for B and C 是2啦 Yes only 2 so it's 1/9 So therefore mutually exclusive So it's always best used to 0 就是那个 set 的那一个 That is what I had confirmed 因为它的这一个很乱 Okay, the next one which is find what is PA union B. So 我们已经知道了它是 sorry, this is not mutually exclusive. I should rewrite it. This is not mutually exclusive. My mistake. So 它的这一个 P of A union B, how do we calculate it? 因为我们知道它是 mutually exclusive, 所以也就讲着我们可以用这一个 rule, which is 3/9 plus 4/9. Hence it's 7/9. So what is P union C? Now 因为它们有一个东西是 in common 的 Okay, so let me do a Venn diagram here. 这一个我会用 Venn diagram 来 introduce 这一个 law. Okay, this law is what we call the additional law for non-mutually exclusive event. 我不知道下面有没有啦，没有的话我们来看一下。So for example, 我这里有 A, 这里有 C. 我们已经知道了3本身是 what's in common. 然后 9, 6 and 9, 2, 5 and 7. Now, out of 9 of the numbers, okay, 如果我们只是讲 union A and C, 正式来讲我们其实只是 probability of 6/9的，对不对？ But there is actually a law to use it to calculate this. Okay, for non-mutually exclusive, 我们要算出来这一个 union 的话，我们可以用的是 PA plus PC minus the intersection. Huh? Why is that? So 我们来看一下，如果我把这些号码 cancel 掉 OK, 我可以做的东西是 let me shade PA and then I plus PC. 我们会发现到的一个东西就是它的 intersection 的部分有重复了一次的 So hence 我们一定要去 minus 1 time. So this is the law. Okay, additional law for non-mutually exclusive events. Hence 我们这里我们就可以讲 PA. So what is PA? PA 是我们的 3/9 plus PC 4/9 equals to minus 1/9 6/9. And this one 我们可以 simplify 它，因为这样子的话我们就不需要去做任何的calculation re-simplifying 这样子。So same thing over here. PB union C. 所以就是 PB plus PC minus PB intersect C, which is the same as 4/9 minus plus 4/9 minus 我们有多少个 common 是一个而已，所以就 minus 1/9. So hence 7/9. So this is what we call non-mutually exclusive law. Let's try again. So in the survey of 50% of the participants that owns a desktop D and 60% owns a laptop L and 15% owns both. Classic Venn diagram. Always tackle the inner part. OK, 所以就讲这里是 0.15, 这里就是我们的 0.35, 这里是我们的 0.45. Let's add it up. What we realize is that there are some portion of people that do not have this laptop. Okay, 因为我们这个是 probability of the Venn diagram, 所以永远就是讲这 okay, we can just use 1 minus 0.35 minus 0.15 minus 0.45. So if that's the case, 我们就可以算出来它是等于 0.05. So 0.05 from the outside. 因为 1 is equals to both, or even though you have or you don't, or you have only one, you only have both, and etc. So what is the question? What is the percentage of the participant owns neither a desktop nor a laptop? 5%. 这个是他们要求的，因为 they ask for 5%. They ask for percentage, 所以我们就说 5%. The last one. This is the tricky part, but not really. So for these children were asked which fruit they like from the apples, bananas, and cherries. The following Venn diagram shows the number of children that like each type of fruit. Find the probability that a randomly selected child likes apple or bananas. So we have to do what is the probability that has it A or B. 如果你要的话 of course 你可以就是直接一个一个算出来啦，就是我们的6 plus 3 plus 7 plus 1 plus 2 plus 2, which is equals to 21. But 如果你要做 probability 的话，我们就是 PA plus PB minus PA intersect B. There is no one way of doing it. Both ways are acceptable. So 我们的 PA 就是6加3加1加7. So in this case, that will be 70 or 40 plus 2加3加1加2, 所以也就是我们的8. What are the common ones? 3 plus 1, so that will be 4. So hence our probability would be 21 over 40. So that will be it for Venn diagrams and first part of the probability.